Hello everyone. In our previous lesson, we have learned how to convert rectangular equations to polar equations. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to convert polar equations to rectangular equations. And we have 10 solid questions here. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to other people. Always remember the relationship between them. So let's get started. The first question here we have is r equal to 4. What we can do, because we know that r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared, why not square both sides? If you square this, you have r squared. Square this, you have 16. This means that r squared can now be expressed as x squared plus y squared. So we have x squared plus y squared equal to 16. And hence, this is our rectangular equation from polar equation number 2. Very simple, right? Question number 2, we have that r is equal to 2 cos theta. Remember, in polar equation, you can only see r or theta. But in rectangular, you always see x or y or both. So therefore, how can we convert from this? If you square this, you can get that. But squaring this will not give you anything in terms of x or y. So why not just multiply both sides by r? Because if you multiply this by r, you have r cos theta, which we have as x, right? So this is r times r is r squared, 2 multiplied by r cos theta. So you can now see that the whole of this is x. So we have this as that, right? Which is x squared plus y squared is equal to 2 multiplied by, 2 multiplied by x. And this is said to be a rectangular equation of this polar equation. Question number 3. As theta equal to pi over 4. Remember, theta is equal to tan inverse of y over x. So instead of this theta, we can now replace it with tan inverse of what? Y over x. And this remains pi over 4. So if you take tan of both sides, you have tan will cancel this, leaving only y divided by x. And tan of this will give us 1. You can multiply both sides by x to have y equal to x. And hence, this is what? A rectangular equation of this polar equation. Question number 4. We have r equal to 3 sine theta, similar to question number 2. You can multiply both sides by r. R times r will give us r squared equal to 3r sine theta. And r sine theta is the same thing as y, while this is the same thing as x squared plus y squared. X squared plus y squared equal to 3y. This is your rectangular equation. Let's move on to number 5. Number 5, we have r equal to 2 plus 2 cos theta, right? Cos theta. All right. Let us multiply every single term by r. R times r will give us r squared equal to 2 times r plus 2r cos theta. What is r squared? R squared is that, which is what? X squared plus y squared. 2 times r. What is r? R is the square root of x squared plus y squared. Remember, right? Then we have plus 2 times r cos theta, which is x. That is 2x. And hence, you can see that this is a rectangular equation of this polar equation. Question number 6. We have r equal to 1 minus sine theta. We're going to do the same thing. Multiply by r. We have r squared equal to 1 times r is r minus r sine theta. This is x squared plus y squared equal to r is the square root of x squared plus y squared minus r sine theta is y. As simple as that. Question number 7. We have that r is equal to 4 divided by 2 plus cos theta. 2 plus cos theta. So let me see, how can we do this? Can I multiply the top and the bottom by r? I think I can do that. But why not just cross multiply? I think we can cross multiply, right? So that we have 2 times r, 2r, plus r cos theta, and this is equal to 4. We know that r is the square root of what? X squared plus y squared. So this is 2 times the square root of x squared plus y squared, and r cos theta is x, and this is equal to 4. Yeah, I think this is sufficient. This is our rectangular equation. Let's move on to question number 8. Simplifying is not necessary. Once you are able to convert all the x's into r and theta, or all the r and theta into x and y's, you are good to go. It's left for you to either simplify or leave it like that. So question number 8, we have r squared equal to 9 multiplied by cos of what? 2 theta. 2 theta. This is double angle for cosine. Let us break it down. This is r squared equal to 9 times. Double angle for cosine is what? Cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. One thing we can do here, since I can see my cosine and sine there to the power of 2, we can multiply both sides by r squared. So you multiply this by r squared, you multiply this by r squared. So that this will be what? R squared also squared, according to power rule of indices. This is equal to 9 times r squared cosine squared theta minus r squared sine squared theta, right? I just distributed r squared inside. So you can see that this is the same thing as r cos theta whole squared. R cos theta is x. So this is the same thing as x squared minus r sine theta whole squared. Something like r sine theta whole squared will give you this back, but you know that this is y. With the power of 2, you have y squared. So this is what? Y squared. But don't forget, we still have 9 outside. But r squared is what? R squared is x squared plus y squared. So we have r x squared plus y squared, but this has a power of 2. You raise it to the power of 2. And hence, this is said to be the rectangular equation of this polar equation. If you like, you can break it down a little bit by writing it as x squared plus y squared equal to 3 times the square root of what? X squared minus y squared. Something like this. Then second to the last question here. Question number 9. We have r equal to 1 divided by cos theta times sine theta. First of all, let us cross multiply. You take the whole of this, you multiply by this. This will give us r cos theta sine theta, right? This is equal to 1. We have no problem with this because we know it is equal to x. So let me write it first. This is x sine theta equal to what? 1. But we want to change everything to be in terms of x and y. Why not just multiply both sides by r so that we have x r sine theta equal to r times 1 is r. Yes, so that this can now be sine y. So we have x times y to be equal to r, but r is what? Square root of x squared plus y squared. Square root of x squared plus y squared. And this is said to be the rectangular form of this, but if you like, you can also square both sides so that it becomes, square of this will give us what? X squared y squared equal to x squared plus y squared. Remember, I told you simplifying further is not necessary, but once you are able to transform everything in terms of x and y, you're good to go. Then the last question, question number 10, we have r equal to square root of 2 multiplied by sine of theta, no, sine of theta minus pi over 4. We need to break this. What can we remember? We know that if we have sine of maybe a minus b, sine of the first angle, that is sine of a, multiplied by cosine of the second angle, cosine of b, the minus. This time around, sine of the second angle, b, multiplied by cosine of the first angle, a. So where a is theta and b is pi over 4. So I would like to break down sine of theta minus pi over 4 before we plug it back. It will be sine of the first angle, that is sine of theta, multiplied by cosine of the second angle, pi over 4, the minus sine of pi over 4, multiplied by cosine of theta. Yes, what is cosine? Both cosine and sine of pi over 4 are exactly the same, which are square root of 2 over 2. So this is sine of theta times square root of 2 over 2 minus the same thing, root 2 over 2 times cosine of theta. But remember, we have root 2 at the back. So if you bring it back here, it's like multiplying everything here by that, root 2, everything. You see, root 2 times root 2 will give us 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this is 1. This is also 1. So what do we have? We have only sine theta minus cos theta. Wow. So let's continue. So you can see that the whole of the right hand side is this. So let's come down here. This implies that r is equal to sine theta minus cos theta. So what we can do next is to multiply every single term by r. R times r will give us r squared equal to r sine theta minus r cos theta. We know that this is y, this is x. This is x squared plus y squared. So x squared plus y squared is equal to y minus x. Wow, this question is a very interesting one. It means that the whole of this polar equation can be represented by this rectangular equation. Thank you for watching. Do share to your learning colleagues and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Bye-bye.